right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of For the Most Part podcast. We back again with Mr. Fernando Chillar to my left. And ironically, he and Louise decided to match. I don't know how. All they're playing in the same band because funny enough, we talking Carnival. All they need to tell me what band is this all they're playing for?
For the most part, man. Now we play.
But
yeah, for the most part.
Okay, but however, for the most part, colors are orange and green. So I don't know.
That's nothing, man.
The shade.
This is just the Tuesday.
Yeah, the Carnival Monday wear and the Tuesday wear, two different wear.
It is ironic that we speak of this because we had a recent set of events that probably will shape next year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Let's backtrack a little bit. So we had some fets or concerts that recently happened.
Safe zone fets.
Safe zone
events.
Pods,
yeah.
There were some pods involved. I am not sure how the pan situation worked out either.
Neither myself, man.
A little bit about that.
Oh yes, you played with one or two bands, right? Okay,
one.
Just one. Oh yes, because I think it's the rules are now you have to only play with one band, especially.
And remember, they literally had everybody's vaccination card on file. So like when
you have no choice.
My name was already on a list, and that list had which band I was playing.
Right.
Yeah. However, there were people who played with multiple bands. But that's different.
You're trying to get hurt up in these. Anyway.
Sorry.
No problem. All right, so let's talk about the pods for a little bit and what that might look like for 2023. So, Fernando, what are your thoughts? Because I know a lot of people had concerns about how Carnival was shaping up. We were shooting for the virtual situation for a long time. You know, what are your thoughts on that?
All right. So for Carnival into 2022 this year, again, perspective. Some people would not have found it made sense. Some people would have found that it made sense. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I was just more looking at the part of if you're telling me that you're gonna have safe zone events. You're having Carnival and knowing our culture. From the time the whole of Trinidad we go here Carnival, you can separate safe zone and the man on the street who will show you in Blocko Carnival.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because basically it dives into the world of science. If it is we're talking about they're trying to curb the spread of COVID, then the data would have shown also that look, it's still being transmitted.
Right.
So as much as you say safe zone event, it doesn't really much safe zone for me.
Okay.
Because the man on the street having the block, same thing will happen regardless of. Now if you're looking at maybe it was a move to say to help tense the situation, and to probably make some money for the what we are in right now, how the economy is. Probably as a test also to say let's
see how things will go.
Well, then it may have turned out successful in that way because a number of events were rampant, were jam. So it all depends on how we look at it. Think to me, if that is to be the model for next year, I doubt that. I doubt because if it is you're telling me now at the opening back up full-fledged, then what's the point of having pods? For next year, unless
because I was gonna ask that if it made sense to have the pods
it for next year. Unless and you have no safe zone restrictions. So unless later on this year September Megatron Omicron comes, and just shut back down the place, then you could say then it may not have a carnival again depending on the infection rate.
But here's the thing though. Both the culture minister and the NCC chairman, Vincent Gypsy, because they both alluded to having a normal carnival in 2023 in an express article dated March 14th. They both said that they were aiming for a normal carnival, whatever that means.
So I would suspect it means why not jam normal on the streets as normal, no safe zone, no pods, no nothing. So
I mean already already mask mandates are going to be dropped as of April 4th, I think.
Yeah.
So
in safe zone in safe zone places, I think, but I believe in public spaces still have to have on your mask and that kind of stuff.
Yes, public spaces, yes.
Eventually, maybe it will be, they might say it's your choice if you want to have it up on or not or whatever in time. But again, with the pods, if you could look at it in terms of success, it would have been successful, like I said, in terms of what they were looking at, their goal of having a certain amount of people, certain amount of events,
so
and
basically crowd control is what it boiled down to
test to see, okay, let's see how it could go, to say we may have more events later on this year.
That pod system, right? Now, in an ideal world, yes, it's a safe zone to only vaccinate people out. But what I heard a lot of was complete strangers sharing pods.
Well, I guess that boils down to the level of control and the level of regulation.
I mean,
yes.
To me, it was again, I don't know, I'll say that it's sort of idiotic, because you are telling me observe COVID-19 protocols, and promoters supposed to observe COVID-19 protocols.
There's no protocol guiding the
5,000 people jam packed in one event, whining and jamming on each other, and clearly breaking news because nobody have one mask. And nothing.
Of course not.
Happened. If nothing, nobody got arrested, nobody stopped the event, nothing like that. So what I think what I'm alluding to also is that, look, if that's what you're saying, then again we come to this point, let's open back up the place as normal. Don't tell me it's
one thing and then
the other, you see, the next way. But that's just how it is. That's how it was with the pods.
Right. So Louise, let me ask you something. So you had the opportunity to jump up in the people pan side. I don't know which pan side. You don't necessarily need to advertise which pan side either.
No problem.
However, what was that experience like? Because I knew getting, like, I've been contacted a lot to come and play with my home band, but obviously I have school, so I said, right now I can't. But I know that the protocol is vaccination, and I don't know how the social distancing thing worked, especially in small panyards, and if the racks are built a particular way, because I know there's some pan sides where the racks there's 3 spots for pans, and there are things called double tenors and double seconds and guitar pans, and next to you there's a space for one tenor man
right next to you.
Yes, go ahead, Louise.
So honestly, no, I say this as pan not being my first instrument. So nobody comes.
Mine either.
I'm not sure that social
right.
if it's panorama in an open atmosphere.
So you mean like if we were to go back? So you mean if we were to do
when we're on stage?
Yes, of course, because bands like Desperate, there's 140 to 200 people.
Now, well, remember they lowered the numbers this year, so you couldn't come with a full 100.
No, but what I'm saying is, what if they open back? We say we open back up the floodgates. All of the various laws that we had in place are now no longer there. The restrictions are now down and out, and let's just say they're planning for something for 2023. How is that social? And but our Prime Minister has said we need to observe the social the social distancing and the whatever.
Yes, of course. Yes, but what I'm saying is, if you are in a van, social distancing in an open air environment might be detrimental to the sound.
Yeah,
we need to be kind of packed together so we can stay
to get the effect, the feel, the vibe, everything.
But not only just feel the vibe,
not just the vibe, but
for sound,
acoustically,
for sound, you can't,
because remember, open air, that sound is not bouncing back towards you. That sound is just disappearing. So if you're not close to the engine room,
true,
what you will be hearing might be the delay, and then you'll be out.
A whole second after the fact.
So I am not sure for in terms of larger instruments, I'm not sure how any sort of 6 foot social distancing could really be a thing.
Yeah.
But the requirements from Pancho and Bigo is very, very, very strict. If you're not vaccinated, don't come here. Right?
But I have an interesting question now. Now where there's a thing where there may not be a necessity for the vaccines. The safe zones are becoming no longer a thing. So
is it that 2023 there will be no rules?
No, but what I'm saying is, what if candy bands then keep their own rules for who they can allow to play or not?
Well, that's the thing that may happen. Is it that they may say, look, we're giving you all the freedom now. Although we as a government say no restrictions or whatever it is, but you as a private institution may say, well, look, I still keeping this in effect. You know, would that be applicable? Or would that be pushed? Or would that be policy? That is something that we, probably they will have to look at.
I think that will vary greatly from band to band.
Okay.
Right? Some bands have very their existence.
Okay.
And I don't
Fair
mean
point.
that way.
Yeah.
And then
I understand.
Some bands who are sponsored by multi-million-dollar companies who have a reputation.
Trying to uphold. Yeah.
Yes. Multi-million-dollar companies. All those large big bands. You know the big bands I'm talking about.
Right? Yeah. East and North, basically.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry to say, but that's
big bands.
That's what it really boils down to. That the Western Strip. Starlift, Silver Stars, Invader, all of them. Yeah.
Yes, they, especially certain sponsors, they may have
a different stipulation.
Want to maintain a certain right. Because if your sponsors say, hey, we don't want to be associated with a band with too many people and not enough people vaccinated. Yeah, some sponsors might say, can't do that. Don't make us so bad.
Right. Wow.
I'm just speculating.
The corporate sponsorship rule is a different rule, especially when they're sponsoring you.
Very different.
That's like when you're talking with music, you record labels are certain things we want from you because you put in money here. So, you have to do this for us. So we certain, true.
And think about them bands, them bands with big corporate sponsors. They could call you today is Sunday. Hey, call our sponsor line Tuesday. Prepare 30 minutes of music.
Right.
You
can't tell the sponsor, no. You can't do that.
Wow.
You can't do that. That's all.
Wow. So then how does this apply to the fets? I'm curious as to how this is going to work.
But the same thing may apply also to the fets because they have a number of big sponsors behind them. But again, with fets too, it's not like to say there's massive all stars.
Right.
Or there's, a Fed promoter will approach these brands for sponsorship. So it's like, I want to throw this Fed or they are custom throwing this Fed. They already have these people lined up to approach them. So it's not like to say, but this way. It's not like to say this is the mainstay sponsor or endorsed by I don't want to say the company, but this company, because this company always, it's not like they say, I'm trying to call her friend, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. Let me say, I'm trying to call her friend. I don't want to call anything together, but this certain friend that everybody knows and is a big.
For the most part, all inclusive.
Right. Right. So for the most part, all inclusive. Every year we have this friend and we approach B Mobile or DDCell or whatever for their. From them, right? That's how feds go. Every year, things 2-3 months before when we start organizing for the fed and get sponsorship from them, right? So now, unless they say, look, we sponsoring you all, we are sponsoring you all for the past 5 years, but for this year because of the COVID situation and because we want to push COVID vaccine, we pro COVID vaccine. This is one of our stipulations for sponsorship. Then you might just may not get funding from them. Remember, at the end of the day, you're approaching these people. This is not like This is not like an I forget what you would have said with the panyards where these are the mainstay sponsors right through or owned by Makesi.
Right, the large bands on them.
Right, they have a contract agreement with them, I would say, basically. But when you hosting a fed, you really have a contract agreement with them for 5-10 years. You just gone you carry your sponsorship, they are custom with you all, and it's relationships because based on whoever in the business, the Fed promoters with whoever in the branding aspect of that company, they're custom. So they know they're custom getting 100,000 from them and from this company and for that company. Unless it's stipulated that because of COVID, we want to put this in it, and there's one of the criteria now.
So then the question then becomes, do we look out for these big party people, the companies, all the big heads now.
The Caesar's Army.
All them. Is it that we could expect for them to keep the vaccination thing up, or whatever protocols that they have in place?
Well,
they
could do it too on their own. So, for example, even if a company may sponsor them or give them money for their fets, at the end of the day, they could also say, this is our criteria for our fets. We want only vaccinated personnel. They could also say that too, even though they may not have gotten that from the sponsors, but from whoever the sponsors is. But they can also have their own management committees and say, look, our event is safe zone.
So
it happened in Miami, when Miami Carnival, when they had the fets, all those promoters had safe zone fets.
So we could then kind of just assume that some people will basically keep their own protocols in place.
Well, again, that is it could happen, but I would basically would say that it depends on how things look over time between now and next year. For the events, they say, well, look, look, the rate is 20 people a day now in infections rate and that thing. So based upon that, we're not having no safe zone event.
The
numbers have gone. It come like the common cold, we wouldn't have that. Or it all. I think it will go based upon that. They would try to
regulate
between
those
now and
things.
between now and next year. And again, I mean, I think a lot of this, as we said earlier before, that there's a certain amount of money also to a profit margin someone would have been making pre-COVID, and during COVID here too, especially with restrictions, that would have probably cut or come down less. So a business might say, hey, I will take advantage of this because I want everybody in my friends. Your money talking, your money talking to me. So it's you to fix up afterwards. Remember, it's your personal responsibility. So if you choose to come to my fete, that's your business. And you get sick, that's your business. If you understand.
And I mean, the Prime Minister did say that it is a personal responsibility thing once the restrictions drop. The man did say that. So he did say it. We're not making this up.
So I don't foresee much safe zone.
What
was that? Sorry.
He was addressing the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, and that's my point.
Some Trinidadians will take the responsibility
But for next year, please go ahead. I say I think they will just be back to normal. What I thought for this year though, even though they had a good turnout, but I thought they should have. It was a little too rushed.
Okay. In what regard?
For the events.
Okay.
Because there was 1 minute they didn't want to show, and then they start, and then money was they had money earmarked, but it's not the real amount, and all this and that. But things happen, right? What I'm saying, right? If we were looking to have something properly planned, I actually like the idea of Tobago, where they went to say, look, we need height of Omicron. Let's not take the risk of saying, look, have any events during this height. Let's look at September, October. I think they're having a carnival. We're going to have it in Carnival in September, October. And a number of promoters in Trinidad were saying the same thing. So look, let's look at even July, August, September. One, because height of Omicron, and two, planning.
Right.
So because these events is not. It's not 1 month planning and that kind of stuff.
It's year long.
2-3 months planning year long, and before a number of things just had to go on. So I personally thought that in that aspect, that regard, it should have taken that step, that way forward for the carnival. As a matter of fact, people may even think that from again my perspective, what I gonna say? I me one thing. Well, boy, that real far-fetched. I personally was thinking that no carnival this year.
Right.
Next year carnival, give us the whole week and plan your whole thing like how Ibiza and these guys just have a whole week of festival and carnival. Have a whole week of carnival. We missed it for 2 years, but next year, from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
you have your whole thing.
Whole week a carnival.
And that's highly marketable.
This is what I'm going to say. And you market this thing from this whole year. From this whole year to next year that we have a week of madness in Trinidad.
Yes.
Now it might sound far-fetched. It might sound like, what is guy, But to help in the situation, I say in terms of the infection rate. But then again, the government would have been gotten their information from the health authorities and say, look, let's do this, let's do that, let's do it this way, and let's test it and see. I'll be like, look, get them the week next
year.
Get them the whole week
I want to
next
ask
year.
I want to ask the house their opinion on this. What are y'all's thoughts? Because the two of them looking. hey, pick a man, pick a side, pick a struggle, and talk.
Lol.
What's that say? Closer to the mic. Bring the mic closer. You can lift the body up. Yes, these are the things that go on behind the scenes that you will probably never see. Yeah, pull cable, man. Pull cable.
But on the whole planning and in Trinidad and Tobago is maybe a major thing, a major setback, So
it is a major setback.
People
I just want to interrupt this programming to say y'all got my natural reaction.
Yes, we did.
Oh, the camera was on Kemi?
Yeah, the
Was the camera on
me.
Kemi?
Yeah.
Good.
unscripted, man. Unscripted. That's all good.
And have more to come after this. Anyways, yes, house. Talk to the eye. The next way. Yes, sir.
Good evening.
My God.
This is the sexiest voice I could muster.
These are the dealings of this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. All right, go ahead. You're on air, sir. Yes, this is hot one. No, we're not.
Yes, I was just shaking the table. Apologies. No, I when it comes to Carnival, being somebody who was born and grew in Pan, and also a student of Dr. Liverpool's Carnival study program, I have no comment.
Fair point.
Because we'd be here all day. What I would say though is that a little abstract, but I would just love to see, the opinions of the younger people. You mean
the people who would have been partying?
Yeah, the people who are actually going out now and spending their money and actually taking part in the Carnival events. I would like to get their opinions as to where they want to see Carnival go. Whether we should have Carnival at all or not. Is Carnival even making sense? Because I don't know if you all would have seen that there were a couple Juve zesses where they would have had Juve type Cambule celebrations with mud and paint, but they were listening to Trinidad music.
Yes. And
so
that is a very important point about across there. Within the recent time, before in 2019, was the last, well, not this, 2019 was the last Carnival street parade we had. 2020, sorry. I was saw one or two Carnival events, and a lot of the Trinidad dance or music was playing more than the Carnival event. So that's a really interesting point.
Our next podcast.
Our next podcast for that one. Yeah.
Is it Carnival in truth? As you said, is it really Carnival? Because no.
I agree because I've seen several. There was what Carnival was that? 2018, 2017, 2018. The road. I think it's either 2016 or 2017. The music that was being played for that Carnival was reggae music and dancehall music. There was absolutely no, there was probably one soca song playing, but there was nothing else playing that year.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in seeing how the Carnival is going to shape up now with the kind of music because,
Yeah, so I really want to hear from that generation. I really, really want to hear what they want to see or what I shouldn't even say they. What we want to see for Carnival going forward because yes, I know that Gypsy's predecessors and who is our Randall Mitchell, the Honorable Randall Mitchell, their predecessors would have set the path that they were on for them and they are now setting the path for us, but I don't think that our economy could sustain the current model of Carnival because everything is very subsidized, overly subsidized. So that's why I said I didn't want to. It's a lot, so I didn't want to really go down there. What I would like to get is, some feedback as to where do we want to see Carnival go? Does it even make sense?
Yeah.
That's me.
Guys, I think
the Carnival topic is broad.
Yeah. Louise, you were going to say something?
Yes. One thing I would like to say about this conversation, throwing out that question as to what young people would be, I just want to say that Panorama with song is magical.
It worked.
It worked wonders. But remember, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Panorama with the two songs is one song that you would have done before and a newly arranged song.
Yes, and new arrangements and any other.
Like a bomb tune or something. So
it was a bomb tune.
It was a bomb tune.
Yeah. Sorry, it was a bomb tune. Now the thing is, the being able to just hear two different songs of band made a huge difference. The crowd seemed to be more entertained.
Right.
Yeah, that's actually a good yeah. The bomb tune situation. I'm interested in seeing how that plays out for.
Well,
the thing is, there are some bands pull out some lovely tunes.
I like how Louise brought that up because that is another thing where, again, I'm trying not to go down this road, but when you look at the audience and when you look at the panelists, there's a huge generational gap. So the people who are listening to the pan are generally over 40, and the people who are playing are generally under 40.
Older heads.
That creates a dichotomy that we have not discussed. And again, that it's a lot to go through. But me personally, I would have played with Tropical Angel Harps because the drummer, he's not too well. He's getting better, but he would have taught me to play. So I went to give them that support, and I couldn't make all the rehearsals, and the band was very, very understanding. My thing with the two songs, it's a lot. It's a lot to learn. It's a lot of music to learn, and yes, it was magical for some, and it was ridiculous for others because it's like that's two whole panorama type songs.
Yeah, because some bands, their arrangements, their bomb tunes are like 10 and 8 minutes long. Yeah, let's just be real big. That's how it is.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind it.
No, from a performance perspective. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't mind it so much, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and most of the time it's not financially
viable.
For me. Like the amount of rehearsals. I mean, I play with bands, you had to learn 10, 15 songs, but you have a long time to learn all these songs. And then you're not playing with 60 people, especially from the drummer's perspective, the amount of energy you have to put out
It's a little more.
Yeah, it's a lot more. And I personally feel as though we're not having the discussion as though, you know, is it relevant? Does it make sense? Is a bomb tune relevant to the
Panorama energy?
Yeah, you know, even though the crowd loved it, but to me that was more a pan in the 21st century type of thing, and which is where pan probably should go for Carnival. I don't know. We just not having the discussion. So you know, maybe we set up a pod track where we invite Marcus or somebody else.
Marcus, you're invited.
Yeah,
to come back.
Because I believe that Marcus and Lauren, you know, they are the future of pan. You know, I mean, pan leadership. We have Kristen Morel and a lot of others like yourself, Kemi, who come from UTT, who come from UE. You all are the future of pan, and I think that, you know, we need to hear what you're all saying in terms of this panorama thing. Is the 2-song thing worth it?
Yeah.
Is it going to bring more seats in the stands or more viewers to the online stream?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And I think there's the research into the dynamics of entertainment industry and different sectors of it in Trinidad and Tobago is that in itself is our next topic in that. And when you do it, do they listen? Do they implement the recommendations?
Yeah.
They know all of these things that's had to be put forward and discussed also.
Yeah.
You know? So
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we asked some very, very important questions in this episode.
Yeah.
This is just part 1 of this particular discussion. So we're going to end this one here. Like, check, comment, subscribe. We will see you all and hear you all on the next one, which is part 2, which is coming up right after this one. Peace out, guys.